mean, so I've always sort of moved forward, exploded.
Yeah.
But then there is that up, down drive. Is that, are you going forward with the hips level, drop, then go, but not up to come down to go forward? Does that make sense?
Okay, I think I know what you mean. Okay, so a couple of things there, right? I think quite a lot of people, and you'll see competition fighters, and they'll be up and down, up and down, up and down, and ultimately they're using that kind of that downward action to produce a kind of plyometric movements to the direction we're going to do. So on this downward action, they're not really putting pressure on the front leg, they're just putting pressure on the back leg. They're using the arch of the foot, they're using that kind of plyometric use of your leg to produce that kind of movement, right? That's one way to produce that kind of explosive power. Yeah, is that what you meant, Steve?
Yep.
Okay, another way, which I think is far more difficult and takes a lot more kind of a lot more training, and I don't mean this training in order to get a skill. I mean training in order to get strength in your body. Is to be able to produce that from any position. So you're moving forward, and as much as you're moving forward, you can still produce it. So even though you're moving in that direction, you can still move and then produce that explosive power. So that comes from physical training. That comes from strengthening your arch of your foot. It comes from strengthening your leg. A quick aside, I'll give you a quick story. There was a guy in America. He was a long distance athlete. I think 4,000 meters, something like this. And he kept on coming third, fourth, fifth in the national championships in America. And he wants to make it to the Olympics, and you can only get to the Olympics if you're the best two in the country. And changed his coach, and his coach put him on a different training regime, which included barefoot running. And so he went from running with trainers on, with sneakers on all the time, to just running barefoot. He went from a size 12, American, I presume, American size 12 foot, to an American size 9. He dropped 3 shoe sizes because his foot got a lot stronger and tighter, and his arch became more pronounced. And so he had a greater spring in his step. As a result, he won the American Championships, he went to the Olympics, and he came third in the world. So he went from being kind of, top 5 in America to top 3 in the world by increasing the strength of his foot. And I think we should take that as a good example of how we can use that within karate as well. We're constantly training in bare feet. Our feet should be strong. And by working the strength of our feet, we can create explosive power all the time.
When you say engage your core, do you mean like unconsciously engage your core, as in don't let your torso wobble, or do you mean consciously engage your core, like actively keeping some tension in your abs, like consciously doing so?
Yes and yes. So I think everything comes with conscious kind of thought first. Like you have to consciously make sure that you're not losing your center, and eventually that will become subconscious movement. The last thing you want to do is do it too much. You don't want to just be tense. We have this idea of keeping our back straight. We don't want to kind of break our line. Okay, we try hard to do that. The more we train, the more easier that should become, both in conscious thought, becoming subconscious, and also the amount of muscles that you use and the intensity that you use those core muscles. So for sure, when you're moving quickly forward, you're going to have to really engage your abs to stop you doing this. Eventually, at first, you maybe have to consciously think about that, consciously kind of digging in to make sure you don't do this. After time, that will happen naturally. After time, you'll only ever use the muscles that you actually need to do it, rather than all of your core muscles.